Imagine this, it's a bright, sunny Saturday afternoon. The kind of day where the sky is big and blue, with fluffy white clouds floating around like cotton candy. In a quiet little neighborhood, everything feels happy and peaceful. Kids are running around outside, laughing and shouting. Birds are chirping in the trees, hopping from branch to branch. The air smells like fresh grass and flowers. It's the perfect day to play outside, right? In one little house on Maple Street, there's an 8-year-old boy named Timmy Jackson. Timmy's a regular kid with messy brown hair and a big, goofy smile. Right now, he's zooming around his front yard, holding a bright orange bubble gun. You know what a bubble gun is, don't you? It's this cool toy that looks a little like a water gun, but instead of water, it shoots out shiny, sparkly bubbles. When Timmy pulls the trigger, tons of bubbles float up into the air. They're all different sizes, some tiny, some big, and they shimmer in the sunlight like little rainbows. Pop! 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 The bubbles burst when they hit the ground or float too high. It's so much fun to watch, and Timmy's giggling like crazy as he chases them around. To Timmy, this is the best day ever. He's running in circles, pretending he's a superhero shooting bubble blasts at imaginary bad guys. Take that, evil monsters, he yells, laughing as more bubbles fly everywhere. The yard looks like a magical bubble party, and Timmy's right in the middle of it, having the time of his life. If you saw him, you'd probably want to grab a bubble gun and join in too. It's just a normal, happy kid thing, right? Well, hold on tight because not everyone in this neighborhood thinks bubbles are so great. Nope, someone's about to make this day a whole lot weirder. Inside the house, Timmy's mom, Sarah, is busy in the kitchen. Sarah's a nice lady with short, dark hair and a friendly smile. She's wearing a blue apron and stirring a big pitcher of lemonade. The lemons smell all tangy and sweet, and she's humming a little song while she works. Every now and then, she peeks out the window to check on Timmy. She loves seeing him so happy. To her, he's the best kid in the world, full of energy and always making her laugh. Sarah's just a regular mom. She goes to work every day at a little office downtown, comes home, makes dinner, and helps Timmy with his homework. She's not loud or fancy. She doesn't like big parties or showing off. She's quiet and keeps to herself most of the time. The neighbors know her, but they don't really know her, if you get what I mean. Sarah's house is small but cozy. It's got a white front door, a tiny porch with a rocking chair, and a neat little yard where Timmy plays. The neighborhood is full of houses just like hers, rows of them lined up along the street, all with green lawns and mailboxes out front. It's the kind of place where people wave hello and kids ride bikes until the sun goes down. Everyone seems friendly enough, but Sarah doesn't chat with the neighbors much. She's happy just doing her own thing, taking care of Timmy, and keeping life simple. That's how she likes it. But here's the thing nobody knows, not the neighbors, not Timmy's friends, not even the mailman who drops off letters every day. Sarah has a secret. A really, really big secret. It's not something small like she's good at baking cookies, though she is pretty great at that. No, this secret is huge. It's the kind of secret that could change everything in a snap. And today, this sunny, bubbly Saturday, that secret's about to come out. It's going to shake up the whole neighborhood, and trust me, it's going to be wild. Let's rewind a tiny bit so you can picture it all. Timmy's out there in the yard, his sneakers squeaking on the grass as he runs. His bubble gun is making a soft whir sound every time he shoots. Bubbles are floating all over, some drift up high, some bounce off the fence, and some even land on the mailbox. The sun's shining down, making everything look bright and cheerful. Sarah's inside, pouring lemonade into a glass, thinking about how nice it is to have a quiet weekend with her kid. She's got no idea that trouble's brewing just a few houses away. And Timmy? He's too busy having fun to notice anything weird. But something's coming. Something big. Now, let's talk about this neighborhood for a second. It's called Sunny Hills, and it's a pretty normal place. There's a park at the end of the street with swings and a slide. There's a lady who walks her fluffy dog every morning, and a guy who mows his lawn way too loud on Sundays. Kids like Timmy play outside all the time, riding scooters, tossing balls, or drawing with chalk on the sidewalk. It's the kind of place where nothing crazy ever happens. Or at least, that's what everyone thinks. Today, though, Sunny Hills is about to get a big surprise. Sarah finishes stirring the lemonade and sets the pitcher on the counter. She wipes her hands on her apron and looks out the window again. Timmy's still out there, laughing as he tries to pop a giant bubble with his finger. He's such a goofy kid, Sarah says to herself, smiling. She loves how he finds joy in little things like bubbles. To her, that's what being a mom is all about, watching her kid be happy and free. She has no clue that in just a few minutes, someone's going to try to ruin all that fun. And when they do, Sarah's secret is going to come bursting out like one of Timmy's bubbles, only way bigger. Let's zoom in on Timmy for a minute. He's wearing a red t-shirt with a dinosaur on it and blue shorts that are a little too big. He keeps tugging them up as he runs. His bubble gun is his favorite toy right now. He got it last week for his birthday, and he's been playing with it non-stop. It's made of plastic, all shiny and orange, with a little trigger that's easy to pull. When he presses it, a tiny fan inside spins and blows bubbles out the front. The bubble mix smells sweet, like candy, and Timmy thinks it's the coolest thing ever. He's pretending he's a bubble wizard, casting spells to make the yard all sparkly. Zap! Pow! He shouts, shooting more bubbles into the air. Sarah watches him through the window, her heart feeling all warm and fuzzy. She remembers when she was a kid, playing outside just like that. Back then, she didn't have a bubble gun, those weren't a thing yet, but she'd blow bubbles with a wand and some soapy water. She'd chase them around her backyard, giggling when they popped. Seeing Timmy do the same thing makes her happy. It's a simple, silly game, and it's totally harmless. Who could possibly get mad about bubbles? Well, someone's about to. And that someone's going to kick off a chain of events that nobody sees coming. Here's a little hint about Sarah's secret: it's not something bad. She's not hiding a monster in the basement or anything creepy like that. Nope, her secret is cool. It's strong. It's the kind of thing that makes you go, whoa, really, when you find out. But right now, nobody knows about it, not even Timmy. Sarah's kept it hidden for a long time, and she's good at that. She's quiet and smart, and she doesn't let people see what's really going on inside her head. That's why this day is about to get so wild. When her secret comes out, it's going to flip everything upside down like a bubble popping in the most surprising way. Let's set the scene a little more. The yard where Timmy's playing is small but neat. There's a wooden fence around it, painted white, though the paint's peeling a little. The grass is green and soft, perfect for running barefoot. A big oak tree sits in one corner, its branches spreading out like an umbrella. Squirrels sometimes scamper up that tree, chattering at each other, but today it's just the birds singing up there. The mailbox by the gate is red, with Jackson written on it in black letters. It's a normal yard in a normal house in a normal neighborhood. Nothing about it screams secret. But that's the thing about secrets, they hide in plain sight. Sarah takes a sip of her lemonade, enjoying the cool, sweet taste. She's about to call Timmy in for a glass when she hears something. It's faint at first, just a voice from somewhere down the street. She leans closer to the window, squinting to see what's going on. Timmy's still out there, totally lost in his bubble game. He's making a bubble storm now, shooting as fast as he can, watching the bubbles pile up in the air. Sarah smiles again, but that voice outside is getting louder. It sounds annoyed. Maybe even mad. Who could be mad on a day like this? Let's slow down and imagine Timmy's fun a bit more. He's spinning in circles now, holding the bubble gun high. Bubbles are everywhere, floating over the fence, drifting toward the street, even landing on the porch steps. One big bubble wobbles in the air, catching the sunlight just right. It's so pretty, like a tiny glass ball. Timmy jumps up to pop it, but it floats higher, teasing him. "Come back here," he yells, laughing. He's having the best time, and the yard looks like a fairy tale with all those bubbles shining and popping. Sarah's still at the window, holding her lemonade glass. She's wearing flip-flops and her hair's tied back with a scrunchie. She looks like any mom on a Saturday, relaxed and happy. But that voice outside? It's not happy. It's sharp and loud, cutting through the peaceful day like a knife. Sarah tilts her head, listening harder. She can't make out the words yet, but she knows that tone. It's trouble. Someone's upset, and they're getting closer. Timmy doesn't hear it. He's too busy with his bubbles. He's got a new game now, trying to make a bubble tower by shooting them all in one spot. 1, 2, 3, he counts, giggling as the bubbles stack up and then fall apart. He's got dirt on his knees and a little sweat on his forehead, but he doesn't care. To him, this is pure magic. The bubble gun's almost out of bubble mix, but he's squeezing every last drop out of it. He's not ready to stop, not yet. Sarah sets her glass down on the counter. The voice is clearer now, and it's definitely coming from outside. She steps closer to the window, pulling the curtain aside. Her eyes scan the street. Everything looks normal: cars parked along the curb, a kid riding a bike a few houses down, the fluffy dog lady walking past. But then she sees it, a figure moving fast, stomping down the sidewalk toward her house. It's a woman, and she's not happy. Sarah's stomach does a little flip. She knows who it is. And she knows this isn't going to be good. Let's pause for a second. What would you do if someone tried to ruin your fun? Imagine you're Timmy, playing with your favorite toy, and someone comes along and says, "Stop that right now." Would you be mad? Confused? Would you keep playing anyway? Or imagine you're Sarah, watching your kid have a blast, and someone's about to mess it all up. How would you handle it? Think about that, because this story's about to get crazy. I'm talking bubbles, yelling, and a secret that'll make your jaw drop. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. Back to the scene. The woman stomping towards Sarah's house is Linda. Everyone calls her HOA Karen, though, because she's the bossiest person in Sunny Hills. Linda's tall and skinny, with blonde hair pulled tight in a bun. She's wearing a pink shirt and flip-flops that slap the ground with every step. Her face is all scrunched up, like she just ate a sour lemon. Linda's the head of the Homeowners Association, or HOA, which means she's always telling people what to do. Cut your grass. Move your trash can. No loud music. She's got rules for everything, and she loves catching people breaking them. Most folks just roll their eyes and ignore her, but today, Linda's on a mission. And that mission? It's all about Timmy's bubble gun. Sarah watches Linda get closer, her heart beating a little faster. She's dealt with Linda before, little arguments about parking or how many flowers Sarah planted in the yard. But this feels different. Linda's not just annoyed, she's mad. Her arms are swinging, and she's muttering something under her breath. Sarah can't hear it yet, but she's got a bad feeling. Timmy's still playing, totally clueless. His bubbles are floating higher now, some drifting right toward Linda. Uh-oh. That's not going to help. Linda stops at the edge of Sarah's yard, hands on her hips. She stares at Timmy like he's doing something awful. "What is that thing?" she shouts, pointing at the bubble gun. Her voice is loud enough to scare the birds out of the oak tree. Timmy freezes mid-run, the bubble gun still in his hand. He looks at Linda, then at the bubbles, then back at Linda. "It's bubbles," he says, confused. He doesn't get why she's yelling. To him, bubbles are awesome. But to Linda? They're trouble. Sarah steps away from the window, her flip-flops slapping the floor. She's not smiling anymore. She knows Linda's about to start something, and she's not in the mood for it. But here's the thing, Sarah's not just any mom who's going to argue with a nosy neighbor. Nope. That secret she's got. It's about to make this whole mess a lot more interesting. Linda thinks she's in charge, but she has no idea who she's messing with. And Timmy? Poor Timmy just wants to keep playing. He doesn't know his fun day's about to turn into a showdown. So, viewers, what would you do if someone tried to ruin your kid's fun? Would you stay calm like Sarah? Or would you march right out there and tell them off? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I want to hear. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for what happens next. This story's just getting started, and it's going to get wilder than a bubble storm on a windy day. Okay, picture this, Timmy's still out in the front yard, running around with his bright orange bubble gun. Bubbles are popping everywhere, floating high in the sunny sky. He's laughing and having the best time ever. Everything feels happy and fun until someone shows up to ruin it. And that someone? Her name's Linda, but everyone calls her HOA Karen. Trust me, you'll see why in a minute. Linda lives just a few houses down from Timmy and Sarah. She's the kind of neighbor who's always watching, always waiting for something to complain about. You know, the type peeking out from behind her curtains, her sharp eyes looking for anything that doesn't fit her perfect little rules. If your grass grows a tiny bit too long, she's there with a frown. If your car's parked just an inch off from where she thinks it should be, she's knocking on your door. Linda's the queen of complaints in this neighborhood, and she loves being in charge. Her real name's Linda, sure, but Karen fits her way better like a glove that's just the right size. Everyone whispers it behind her back, "HOA Karen's at it again." And today? Oh boy, today she's got her eyes locked on Timmy. It starts when Linda steps out of her house. She's wearing a pink shirt and flip-flops that slap the ground loud with every step. Her blonde hair's tied up tight in a bun, and her arms are crossed over her chest like she's ready for a fight. She's glaring across the street, straight at Timmy and his bubble gun. To her, that little orange toy isn't just a fun thing, it's trouble. Big trouble. She squints her eyes, watching the bubbles float up and pop, and her face gets all scrunched up like she's mad at the whole world. Linda's decided this isn't okay, and she's not going to let it slide. Timmy doesn't see her yet. He's too busy zooming around the yard, shooting bubbles like he's a superhero blasting bad guys. Pow! Zap, he yells, giggling as the shiny bubbles drift over the fence. The sun's shining down, making the bubbles sparkle like tiny stars. It's a perfect, happy moment for him. But Linda? She's not happy at all. She takes a big, loud step off her porch and starts marching toward Sarah's house. Her flip-flops go slap, slap, slap on the sidewalk, and her arms swing like she's on a mission. She's mad, really mad, and she's not afraid to show it. When she gets close to Sarah's yard, Linda stops and points right at Timmy. "That thing looks dangerous," she shouts, her voice loud enough to echo down the street. Her fingers aimed at the bubble gun like it's a real weapon, like it's something scary instead of a toy that shoots harmless bubbles. Timmy freezes, his sneakers skidding on the grass. He looks up at Linda, his big brown eyes wide with surprise. "Huh," he says, holding the bubble gun in his hands. He doesn't get it. To him, bubbles are fun and silly. Dangerous? No way. But Linda's not messing around. "I'm calling the cops," Linda yells, her voice sharp and angry. "This is a threat to our safety." She's acting like Timmy's some kind of bubble-blasting bandit, like he's breaking every rule in the neighborhood just by playing. The birds in the oak tree stop chirping for a second, scared off by how loud she is. Timmy blinks at her, still confused. He looks down at his bubble gun, then back at Linda. "But, it's just bubbles," he says quietly, his voice small and unsure. He doesn't understand why she's so upset, and honestly, who would? It's just a toy. Inside the house, Sarah hears all this yelling. She's still in the kitchen, holding her glass of lemonade, when Linda's voice cuts through the air. Sarah sets the glass down fast and steps to the front door. She pulls it open and walks outside, her flip-flops making little tap, tap sounds on the porch. She's got a confused look on her face, her eyebrows scrunched up as she tries to figure out what's going on. "Linda," she says, stepping into the yard. "What's the problem?" Sarah's voice is calm, like she's trying to keep things peaceful. She looks at Timmy, who's standing there with his bubble gun, then at Linda, who's still pointing and shouting. "It's just bubbles, Linda," Sarah says, holding her hands up a little like she's saying, "Calm down, it's no big deal." She's trying to make sense of this, but Linda's not listening. Oh no, Linda's already got her phone out of her pocket. She's tapping the screen with her thumb, her lips pressed tight together. "I'm calling 911 right now," she snaps, holding the phone up to her ear. "This is ridiculous, and I'm not putting up with it." She's talking fast, her words all jumbled together because she's so worked up. To her, this isn't just a kid playing, this is a problem, and she's going to fix it by getting the police involved. Sarah stares at Linda, her mouth open a little. She can't believe what she's hearing. "Linda, it's a bubble gun," she says again, slower this time, like she's talking to someone who didn't hear her the first time. "It's not dangerous. It's a toy." But Linda's not having it. She turns her back to Sarah, pacing a few steps away, muttering into her phone. "Yes, hello, 911? I need help right now. There's a kid with a dangerous thing in my neighborhood," she says, her voice loud and dramatic. She's acting like Timmy's holding something scary, not a plastic toy that makes bubbles. It's wild. Sarah sighs, a big, tired sigh that comes from deep inside her. She shakes her head, her dark hair bouncing a little. She's dealt with Linda's nonsense before, little fights about silly things like where Sarah parks her car or how loud Timmy laughs when he's playing. Linda's always finding something to complain about, and Sarah's used to it by now. But this is next level crazy. Calling the cops over a bubble gun? That's not just annoying, it's nuts. Sarah crosses her arms and watches Linda pace around, still talking on her phone. She's trying to stay calm, but you can tell she's getting a little mad too. Let's zoom in on Linda for a second. She's still stomping back and forth near the fence, her flip-flops slapping the ground. Her pink shirt's all wrinkled now because she's moving so fast, and her bun's starting to come loose, with little strands of hair sticking out. She's talking to the 911 person like it's the most important call she's ever made. Yes, it's orange, and it shoots stuff, she says into the phone. I don't know what it is, but it's not safe. You need to send someone right now. She's waving her free hand around, pointing at Timmy every few seconds. To her, this is a big deal, a huge deal, and she's not going to let it go. Timmy's still standing there, holding his bubble gun. He's not running around anymore. The bubbles have stopped because he's too surprised to pull the trigger. He looks at Linda, then at his mom, then back at Linda. Mom, he says, his voice wobbly. Why's she mad at me? He's got this worried look on his face, like he thinks he did something wrong. Poor kid. All he wanted was to play with his bubbles, and now this loud lady's yelling about cops and danger. It's confusing, and it's starting to scare him a little. Sarah walks over to Timmy and puts a hand on his shoulder. It's okay, buddy, she says softly, giving him a little smile. You didn't do anything bad. She's just being silly. She's trying to make him feel better, but her eyes keep flicking over to Linda. You can tell Sarah's not happy. She's keeping her cool for Timmy's sake, but inside, she's thinking, this is too much. She's dealt with Linda's grumbling before, but calling 911 over bubbles. That's a whole new kind of crazy, even for Linda. Let's talk about Linda's house for a minute, because it tells you a lot about her. It's 3 houses down from Sarah's, and it's the neatest house on the street. The grass is always cut just right, not too short, not too long. The bushes are trimmed into perfect little squares, like they're scared to grow any other way. Her mailbox is shiny and white, with Linda Carter painted on it in fancy black letters. There's a sign in her yard that says HOA rules keep us safe, in big, bold words. Linda loves rules. She loves them so much she made herself the boss of the homeowners association, which means she gets to tell everyone else what to do. Most people just nod and ignore her, but today, she's not letting anything slide. Back in the yard, Linda's still on the phone. Yes, it's happening right now, she says, her voice getting higher and louder. I need someone here fast. She's pacing faster now, her flip-flops making a slap 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 sound that's starting to annoy even the squirrels in the oak tree. She keeps glaring at Timmy, like he's the worst kid she's ever seen. To her, that bubble gun is a monster, and she's the hero who's going to save the neighborhood from it. It's silly, but Linda doesn't see it that way. She's serious, dead serious. Sarah takes a deep breath and lets it out slow. She's trying to figure out what to do. She could yell back at Linda, tell her to stop being so ridiculous. She could grab Timmy and take him inside, away from all this drama. But Sarah doesn't do either of those things, not yet. Instead, she just stands there, one hand on Timmy's shoulder, watching Linda make a fool of herself. She's calm on the outside, but inside, she's starting to get that little spark of something strong. Because here's the thing Linda doesn't know, Sarah's not just any mom. She's got a trick up her sleeve, a big one, and it's hiding right there under her quiet smile. Let's slow down and imagine this moment. The sun's still shining, warm and bright. A few bubbles from Timmy's last shot are still floating around, drifting over the fence and popping in the air. The grass smells fresh, and the birds are starting to chirp again, like they're trying to pretend nothing's wrong. Timmy's holding his bubble gun tight, his little fingers wrapped around it. He's not scared anymore, just confused. He keeps looking at his mom, waiting for her to fix this. Sarah's standing tall, her blue apron flapping a little in the breeze. She's quiet, but her eyes are sharp, watching Linda like a hawk. Linda's still talking on her phone, but now she's waving her arm around like she's directing traffic. Yes, it's at 123 Maple Street, she says, giving Sarah's address to the 911 person. "Hurry, please." She's so loud that a couple of neighbors peek out their windows, wondering what's going on. Down the street, the fluffy dog lady stops walking and stares. Even the kid on the bike slows down to watch. Linda's making a scene, a big, loud, messy scene, and everyone's starting to notice. Sarah shakes her head again, a tiny smile tugging at her lips. It's not a happy smile, it's more like a "you've got to be kidding me" smile. She's dealt with Linda's complaints before, but this is different. This is over the top, even for HOA Karen. Calling the cops because a kid's playing with bubbles? It's so crazy it's almost funny. Almost. But Sarah's not laughing. She's thinking. And that little spark inside her? It's growing, getting ready to turn into something bigger. Here's a little hint about Sarah: she's tougher than she looks. She's quiet, sure, and she doesn't brag or show off. But she's smart, and she's strong in a way nobody in this neighborhood knows about. Linda thinks she's just a regular mom who's easy to boss around. Oh, Linda's so wrong. So wrong. Sarah's got something hidden, a trick, a secret, something amazing, and Linda's about to find out the hard way. But not yet. Right now, Sarah's just watching, waiting, letting Linda dig herself into a deeper hole. Timmy tugs on Sarah's apron. "Mom, is she really calling the police?" he asks, his voice small. He's starting to get worried again, his big eyes looking up at her. Sarah kneels down so she's at his level. "Don't worry, Timmy," she says, ruffling his messy hair. She's just being loud. "You're not in trouble, okay?" She gives him a big, warm smile, and Timmy nods, trusting her. He still holds onto his bubble gun, though, like it's his best friend. Linda finally hangs up the phone and spins around to face Sarah. "They're on their way," she says, pointing at Sarah like she's won something. "You'll see, this isn't allowed. That thing's a danger, and I'm not letting it slide." She's smirking now, her arms crossed again. She thinks she's in control, like she's the big boss of Sunny Hills. She's so sure the cops are going to show up and back her up. Oh, Linda. If only she knew what's really going on. Sarah stands up straight, brushing her hands on her apron. She looks at Linda, her face calm but her eyes sharp. "Linda," she says, her voice steady, "it's a bubble gun. It's not hurting anyone. Why don't you just go home?" She's still trying to keep the peace, giving Linda a chance to back off. But Linda's not interested in peace. Nope, she's too far gone. "You'll see." Linda snaps, stomping her foot. "The police will handle this." She's so sure of herself, so full of her own rules, that she doesn't even think twice. The tension's building now. You can feel it in the air, like the moment before a storm hits. Timmy's quiet, holding his mom's hand. Sarah's standing there, cool and collected, but there's something brewing inside her. Linda's pacing again, muttering about rules and safety, waiting for the cops to show up and prove her right. The neighbors are still watching, whispering to each other. The street's not so peaceful anymore, it's buzzing with this weird, excited energy. What Linda doesn't know, what nobody knows, is that Sarah's not scared. Not even a little. She's dealt with worse than Linda, way worse, and she's not worried about some silly 911 call over bubbles. That trick up her sleeve? That secret she's hiding? It's big, and it's strong, and it's about to change everything. Linda thinks she's got the upper hand, but she's walking right into something she can't handle. Sarah's not just any mom, she's something more, something amazing, and Linda's about to find out the hard way. So, what's going to happen next? Will the cops really show up? Will Linda get her way? Or will Sarah's secret come out and turn this whole mess upside down? Stick around, because this story's getting wilder by the minute. The sun's still shining bright over Sunny Hills, and the minutes are ticking by, slow and steady. Timmy's out in the front yard, his sneakers squeaking on the grass as he runs around with his orange bubble gun. Pop! 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 Bubbles float up into the air, sparkling like little jewels in the sunlight. He's giggling, chasing them around, totally lost in his fun little world. He doesn't even notice Linda or the trouble she's stirring up. To Timmy, it's just another awesome day full of bubbles. But things are about to get a lot more interesting. Over at Linda's house, she's pacing back and forth on her porch. Her flip-flops go slap, slap, slap against the wood, loud and fast. She's got her arms crossed tight, and there's a big smirk on her face like she's already won some huge prize. Linda's sure the cops are on their way, ready to back her up and stop Timmy's bubble gun once and for all. She keeps glancing toward Sarah's yard, her eyes narrow and sharp. They'll be here soon, she mutters to herself, nodding like she's the smartest person in the world. That kid's going to learn some rules. She's so proud of herself, acting like she's the sheriff of the neighborhood, keeping everything perfect and safe. Oh, Linda. She has no idea what's really going on. Sarah's standing in her yard now, just a few steps from Timmy. She's watching Linda pace, but she doesn't look mad or scared. Nope, Sarah's calm, way too calm. Her hands are in her apron pockets, and her face is smooth, like nothing's bothering her at all. Most people would be yelling back at Linda by now, telling her to stop being so silly. But not Sarah. She's quiet, steady, like a rock that doesn't move no matter how hard the wind blows. It's almost weird how calm she is. Almost like she knows something Linda doesn't. And guess what? She does. After a minute, Sarah turns and walks back toward the house. Stay here, Timmy, she says over her shoulder, her voice soft but firm. Timmy nods, still shooting bubbles, not even looking up. He's too busy trying to make a giant bubble tower to care about what the grown UPS are doing. Sarah steps inside, the screen door creaking as it swings shut behind her. She's only gone for a second, just long enough to grab something from the kitchen counter. When she comes back out, she's still calm, but there's something different about her now. Her eyes have this little glint in them, like a spark of light you can barely see. It's tiny, but it's there, a hint that she's got a plan, a secret, something big. She knows something's coming, and she's ready for it. Linda's still pacing, her smirk growing bigger every second. She's so caught up in her own little victory dance that she doesn't notice anything else. Not Timmy's bubbles drifting over her fence. Not the neighbors peeking out their windows. And definitely not the police car parked down the street. Yep, you heard that right, there's a police car just sitting there, quiet and still, a few houses away. It's been there all morning, tucked under a big shady tree, almost hidden if you're not looking for it. The car's dark blue, with Sunny Hills Police Retina white letters on the side. The windows are up, so you can't see inside, but it's there, just waiting. Why's it there? Why hasn't it moved? That's the big question, isn't it? Linda doesn't see it, but Sarah does. And that's a big clue something's up. Sarah steps off the porch and walks back into the yard, standing next to Timmy again. She glances down the street, her eyes locking on that police car for just a second. It's so quick you'd miss it if you blinked, but it happens. Then she looks back at Linda, who's still pacing and muttering about the cops coming. Sarah tilts her head a little, like she's thinking hard. You sure you want to do this, Linda, she says, her voice soft but strong. There's something in her tone, a little edge, a little warning, like she's giving Linda one last chance to back off. Her words hang in the air, quiet but heavy, like a bubble that's about to pop. Linda stops pacing and spins around, her flip-flops screeching on the porch. The cops will handle you and that little troublemaker, she snaps, pointing at Timmy. Her voice is loud and sassy, like she's 100% sure she's right. She tosses her head, her bun wobbling a little, and smirks again. You'll see. They're on their way, and they'll shut this down. She's so full of herself, so sure she's the boss of everything. She thinks she's got Sarah and Timmy cornered, like they're in big trouble now. Oh, Linda. If only she knew how wrong she was. If only she'd look down the street and see that police car sitting there, quiet and sneaky. But she doesn't. She's too busy gloating. Timmy keeps playing, shooting bubbles like nothing's happening. One big bubble floats right over to Linda's porch and pops near her feet. She jumps back, like it's a bug or something gross, and glares at Timmy. See? That's dangerous, she yells, waving her arms. It's all over the place. Timmy looks up, confused again. It's just bubbles, he says, his voice small. He doesn't get why she's so mad, and honestly, it's hard to blame him. Bubbles aren't scary, they're fun. But Linda's acting like they're the worst thing ever, and she's not letting it go. Sarah crosses her arms, watching Linda freak out over the bubble. That glint in her eye gets a little brighter, like she's holding back a laugh or maybe something bigger. She's not yelling or arguing. She's just standing there, letting Linda make a big fuss. It's almost like she wants Linda to keep going, to dig herself deeper. Why? What's she waiting for? The tension's building now, you can feel it, like the air's getting thicker. Something's coming, something big, and Sarah's not worried at all. That police car down the street? It's part of it. Linda's 911 call? It's part of it too. But Linda doesn't see the pieces fitting together. Not yet. Let's zoom in on that police car for a second. It's parked under a big oak tree, the branches hanging low and hiding it a little. The tires are still, the engine's off, and it's just sitting there, like it's been waiting all day. It's not shiny and new, it's got a few scratches and a little dirt on the bumper, like it's been around for a while. The lights on top are dark, no flashing or anything. If you didn't know better, you might think it was empty. But Sarah knows it's not. She saw it when she got home this morning, and she's been keeping an eye on it ever since. Why is it there? Who's inside? That's the mystery, and it's starting to bubble up, just like Timmy's toy. Back in the yard, Timmy's still going strong with his bubble gun. He's got a big smile now, even with Linda yelling. "Look, Mom," he calls, shooting a huge bubble that floats high above the fence. It catches the sun and sparkles, pretty as can be. Sarah smiles at him, a real smile this time. "Nice one, buddy," she says, her voice warm. She's not letting Linda ruin this moment for Timmy. But her eyes flick back to Linda, then to the police car again. That glint's still there, shining brighter now. She's calm, but she's ready for whatever's about to happen. Linda's not done, though. She stomps down her porch steps and marches closer to Sarah's yard, stopping right at the edge of the grass. "You think this is a game," she says, her voice loud and bossy. "I'm protecting this neighborhood. That thing could hurt someone." She points at the bubble gun again, her fingers shaking a little. She's so worked up, her face is turning pink, and her bun's falling apart even more. She looks like a mess, but she doesn't care. To her, this is war, a war against bubbles, and she's going to win. Sarah tilts her head again, studying Linda like she's a puzzle. "It's a toy, Linda," she says, keeping her voice steady. "Nobody's hurt. Nobody's scared except maybe you." There's a tiny tease in her words, just enough to make Linda blink. But Sarah doesn't push it. She doesn't need to. She's got that secret, that trick up her sleeve, and it's keeping her cool. Linda's yelling and stomping, but Sarah's not shaken. Not even a little. Why? Because she knows something Linda doesn't. And it's big. The minutes keep ticking by, slow and quiet except for Linda's noise. Timmy's bubbles float higher, some drifting down the street, some popping near the mailbox. The neighbors are still watching, their curtains twitching as they peek out. The fluffy dog lady's stopped walking now, standing at the corner with her dog sniffing the air. Everyone's curious, waiting to see what happens next. Linda's sure the cops are coming any second, ready to swoop in and prove her right. She keeps checking her phone, then looking up the street, her smirk fading a little. "They'll be here," she says, mostly to herself. "They have to be." But here's the thing, the police car's already there. It's been there the whole time, silent and still. Linda's so busy playing sheriff that she hasn't noticed. She's looking the wrong way, expecting sirens and flashing lights, but the real action's closer than she thinks. Sarah sees it, though. She's been watching it all morning, keeping it in the corner of her eye. And that glint? That little spark in her gaze? It's growing, like a bubble getting bigger before it pops. She's not worried about Linda's 911 call. She's not worried about anything. Why not? What's she hiding? Let's imagine the street for a minute. It's quiet, except for Linda's yelling and Timmy's giggles. The houses line up neat and tidy, with green lawns and flower pots on porches. The oak tree by Sarah's yard rustles in the breeze, dropping a few leaves. Down the street, that police car sits like a shadow, blending into the shade. It's so still, you'd think it was part of the scenery, except it's not. It's alive, waiting, part of something bigger. And Sarah knows it. She's connected to it somehow, tied to it in a way Linda can't even guess. Timmy shoots another bubble, and it floats right past Linda's face. She swats at it, like it's a fly, and huffs. Disgusting, she says, wiping her hand on her shirt. This is why we have rules. She's losing it now, getting madder every second. But Sarah just watches, her lips twitching like she's holding back a smile. She's so calm it's almost funny. Linda's a tornado of noise, and Sarah's a quiet little breeze. The difference is huge, and it's making Linda even angrier. You'll see, Linda says again, stomping her foot. When the cops get here, you'll be sorry. She's so sure, so full of herself. She thinks she's got this all figured out. But she's missing the biggest piece of the puzzle, that police car, and whatever it means. Sarah's not saying anything about it, though. She's keeping it close, letting Linda ramble on. The tension's thick now, like the air before a big rain. You can feel it building, growing, getting ready to burst. What's Sarah hiding? Why's she so calm? And what's up with that police car? The answers are coming, little by little, like bubbles floating to the surface. Linda's in for a shock, and she doesn't even know it. The truth's about to bubble up, and when it does, it's going to change everything. Stick around, this is just the start, and it's going to get wild. The sun's still shining high in the sky, and the air in Sunny Hills feels thick with excitement. Timmy's out in the yard, his orange bubble gun buzzing as he shoots more bubbles into the air. Pop! 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 They float up, sparkling like tiny stars, and he's giggling like it's the best day ever. Linda's standing near the edge of Sarah's yard, her arms crossed, her flip-flops tapping the ground. She's smirking, waiting for the cops she called to show up and prove her right. She thinks she's the big winner here, the queen of the neighborhood who's about to put Timmy and his bubble gun in their place. But something's about to happen, something huge, and it's going to flip this whole day upside down. Suddenly, there's a sound, a car door creaking open. It's quiet at first, but it cuts through the air like a little bell. Down the street, under that big shady oak tree, the police car that's been parked there all morning starts to move. Well, not the car itself, but the door. It swings wide, and out steps a police officer. He's tall, with broad shoulders and a serious face. His uniform is dark blue, with shiny buttons and a badge that glints in the sun. He shuts the car door with a soft thump and starts walking straight towards Sarah's yard. His boots crunch on the gravel, steady and slow, like he's not in a hurry at all. Linda sees him first. Her eyes light up, bright and wild, like she just won a prize. See? I told you, she shouts, her voice loud and bouncy. She points at Timmy with one hand, her finger jabbing the air like he's some kind of bad guy from a movie. I told you the cops would come. That little troublemaker's done for now. She's crowing, practically dancing on her flip-flops, so sure she's the hero of the story. Her bun's a mess, with hair sticking out everywhere, but she doesn't care. To her, this is it, the moment she's been waiting for. She thinks the officer's here because of her 911 call, here to back her up and stop Timmy's bubbles once and for all. Timmy looks up from his bubble gun, his big brown eyes wide. He stops shooting for a second, watching the tall officer walk closer. The bubbles keep floating, drifting over the fence, but Timmy's not giggling anymore. He's curious, maybe a little nervous. Mom, he says, turning to Sarah. He's not sure what's happening, but he trusts his mom to figure it out. Linda's yelling doesn't scare him much, but a real police officer? That's new. Sarah's standing there, calm as ever, her hands still in her apron pockets. She doesn't flinch or frown as the officer gets closer. Nope, she just watches, her face smooth and steady. Linda's shouting and pointing, but Sarah doesn't even blink. It's like she's been waiting for this, like she knew it was coming all along. The officer's boots keep crunching step, 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 and he's almost to the yard now. Linda's smirking so hard her face might split, thinking she's won. But here's the thing, the officer doesn't even look at her. Not once. His eyes are locked on Sarah, and he's heading right for her, not Linda. Linda doesn't notice that part yet. She's too busy gloating. See? See, she says again, waving her arms like a cheerleader. I told you this wasn't allowed. The police are here now, and they're going to handle it. She's so loud the neighbors down the street can probably hear her. The fluffy dog lady's still watching from the corner, her little dog wagging its tail. A couple of kids on bikes stop riding to stare. Everyone's waiting to see what happens next, and Linda's sure it's going to be her big moment. The officer steps onto Sarah's grass, his boots sinking a little into the soft ground. He's close now, just a few feet from Sarah and Timmy. Linda's still yelling, but he doesn't turn his head. He stops right in front of Sarah, his tall shadow falling over her. He's got a serious face, straight lips, no smile, but his eyes aren't mean. They're steady, like he's here for a reason. He tips his head a little and says, "Ma'am, everything okay here?" His voice is deep and calm, not loud or angry. It's just a simple question, like he's checking in with a friend. Linda freezes mid-shout, her mouth open. She blinks fast, like she can't believe what she just heard. The officer's not talking to her, he's talking to Sarah. Her smirk starts to slip, but she shakes it off quick. "Yes, officer," she says, jumping in before Sarah can answer. "Everything's not okay. That kid's got a dangerous thing, and I called you about it. It's right there, look." She points at Timmy's bubble gun again, her voice high and squeaky now. She's trying to take charge, to make sure the officer knows she's the one who brought him here. But the officer doesn't look at Timmy. He doesn't look at the bubble gun. He doesn't even turn his head toward Linda. He keeps his eyes on Sarah, waiting for her to answer. It's like Linda's not even there, like her yelling doesn't matter at all. Sarah smiles, a real smile this time, big and confident. It's not a nervous smile or a fake one. It's the kind of smile that says, "I've got this." She nods at the officer and says, "Just fine, Officer Mike. Looks like we've got a misunderstanding here." Her voice is smooth and easy, like she's talking about the weather, not a big yelling match in her yard. Linda's jaw drops. Literally drops, like in a cartoon. Her mouth hangs open so wide you could fit a bubble in there. "You know him," she sputters, her words tumbling out all messy. Her eyes dart from Sarah to the officer, Officer Mike, and back again. She's confused, her brain spinning like a top. How does Sarah know this guy? Why's he talking to her like they're buddies? Linda's whole plan, her big victory, is starting to crack, and she doesn't get it yet. But Sarah's not done. Oh no, she's got more to say, and it's going to blow everything wide open. Sarah turns to Linda, her smile still there, but her eyes are sharp now, like a hawk watching a mouse. She takes a little step forward, her flip-flops quiet on the grass. "Yeah, I do," she says, her voice clear and strong. Then she drops the bomb, the biggest, wildest surprise of all. "I'm an undercover cop. Been working this beat for months." Boom. Just like that, the words hit the air like a giant bubble popping. It's loud in a quiet way, sinking in slow but strong. Sarah's not just a mom. She's a cop, a secret cop, and she's been hiding it this whole time. The yard goes silent. Dead silent. No birds chirping, no bubbles popping, no Linda yelling. It's like the whole world holds its breath for a second. Timmy's still holding his bubble gun, but he's staring at his mom now, his eyes big as saucers. "Mom," he says, his voice tiny. He's not sure what undercover cop means, but he knows it's something cool. The neighbors at their windows lean closer, their curtains twitching. The fluffy dog lady gasps, her hand flying to her mouth. Even the squirrels in the oak tree seem to stop and listen. It's a huge moment, and everyone feels it. Linda. She looks like she's seen a ghost. Her face goes white, paler than her perfect white mailbox. Her arms drop to her sides, and her flip-flops stop tapping. What?" she stammers, her voice shaky. She blinks fast, like she's trying to wake up from a dream. "You're a cop?" She can't believe it. She won't believe it. Sarah's just a mom, right? Just a quiet lady who makes lemonade and watches her kid play. But no, Sarah's more than that. Way more. And Linda's little 911 stunt? It just backfired bigger than she ever thought possible. Officer Mike nods at Sarah, a tiny smile tugging at his serious face. "Good to see you, Sarah," he says, his voice low but friendly. "Heard the call come in and figured I'd check it out myself." He knows her, really knows her, because they work together. He's not here because of Linda's call. He's here because he's part of Sarah's world, her secret cop world. That police car down the street? It's been there all morning because Sarah's been on duty, watching the neighborhood, keeping things safe. Linda thought she was calling the cops on Sarah, but the cops were already with Sarah. How's that for a twist? Linda's knees wobble a little, like she might fall over. But I called 911, she says, her voice high and whiny now. I told them about the dangerous thing. You're supposed to help me. She's pointing at Timmy again, but it's weaker now, like she's not sure anymore. Her whole plan's falling apart, and she's scrambling to hold it together. Officer Mike finally looks at her, his eyebrows going up just a bit. A bubble gun, he says, his voice flat. That's what this is about. He sounds like he can't believe it, like it's the silliest thing he's ever heard. Sarah laughs, a soft little laugh that cuts through the silence. Yep, she says, nodding at Timmy. That's the big danger, Bubbles. She's teasing now, but it's gentle, not mean. Timmy giggles too, holding up his bubble gun like it's a trophy. It's just bubbles, he says, shooting one right at Officer Mike. The bubble floats over and pops on his badge, leaving a tiny wet spot. Mike doesn't flinch, he just chuckles, a deep, rumbling sound. Looks pretty scary to me, he says, playing along with a straight face. Linda's face goes from white to red, like a tomato ripening fast. This isn't right, she sputters, stomping her foot. I'm the one who called. I'm the one keeping this place safe. She's trying so hard to make it about her, but nobody's buying it now. The neighbors are whispering louder, some of them laughing behind their hands. The fluffy dog lady shakes her head and walks off, muttering something about crazy Karen. Linda's big moment, her chance to be the hero, has turned into a total mess, and it's all because of Sarah's secret. Sarah steps closer to Linda, her smile fading into something stronger. I've been watching this neighborhood for months, she says, her voice steady and clear. Keeping an eye on things, making sure everyone's okay. That's my job. And Timmy playing with his bubble gun? That's not a problem, it's just a kid having fun. She's not mad, but she's firm, like a teacher explaining something important. You didn't need to call 911, Linda. You could have just talked to me. Linda's mouth opens and closes, like a fish out of water. She doesn't know what to say. She's been so sure, so loud, so bossy, and now she's got nothing. Sarah's an undercover cop, working with Officer Mike, keeping Sunny Hill safe in her own quiet way. All this time, Linda thought Sarah was just a regular mom, someone she could push around with her HOA rules. But Sarah's stronger than that, smarter than that, and Linda's little stunt just proved it. Timmy starts shooting bubbles again, the whir of his gun filling the air. One floats right past Linda's nose, and she flinches, swatting at it. This is ridiculous, she snaps, but her voice is weaker now, like she's running out of steam. She looks at Officer Mike, then at Sarah, then back at Mike. You're not going to do anything, she asks, almost begging. Mike shrugs, his big shoulders moving slow. Doesn't look like there's anything to do, he says. Just a kid and some bubbles. No crime here. The yard's not silent anymore. The birds are back, chirping in the oak tree. The bubbles are popping, soft and happy. Timmy's giggling, chasing a big one across the grass. The neighbors are talking now, their voices buzzing down the street. She's a cop, one says. No way, says another. That's so cool, says a kid on a bike. Linda's standing there, alone in her pink shirt and messy bun, looking smaller than ever. Her big win? It's gone. Poof, just like a bubble. Sarah turns to Timmy, ruffling his hair. You okay, buddy? She asks, her voice warm again. Timmy nods, grinning big. Yeah. You're a cop, Mom. That's awesome. He's excited now, bouncing on his toes. Sarah laughs, a real, happy laugh. Yep, she says. But I'm still your mom first. She winks at him, and he shoots another bubble, aiming it high. Linda takes a step back, her flip-flops dragging on the grass. This isn't over, she mumbles, but it's weak, like she doesn't even believe it herself. She's lost, and she knows it. Her 911 call didn't bring the victory she wanted, it brought Sarah's secret out into the open, and now everyone sees who's really in charge. Sarah's not just a mom with lemonade and an apron. She's a cop, a hero, and Linda's little bubble war just made her shine even brighter. Officer Mike tips his head to Sarah again. I'll head back, he says. Let me know if you need anything. Sarah nods. Thanks, Mike. See you later. He turns and walks back to his car, his boots crunching again. The car door creaks open, then shuts, and he's gone just like that. But the truth? It's still here, big and bold, right in Sarah's yard. How's that for a twist? Linda thought she'd win, but Sarah's secret turned it all around. The neighborhood's buzzing, Timmy's bubbling, and Linda's backfired big time. What a day in Sunny Hills. The sun's still high in the sky, painting Sunny Hills with golden light. Timmy's back to shooting his bubble gun, giggling as the shiny bubbles float up and pop. Sarah's standing in her yard, cool and calm, her apron flapping a little in the breeze. Officer Mike, the tall policeman who just stepped out of that sneaky car, is still there too. His boots are planted firm on the grass, and his serious face is locked on Linda. Linda's not smirking anymore. Oh no, her big win's gone, and she's about to find out what happens when you mess with the wrong mom. Officer Mike turns to Linda, his eyes narrow and his mouth a straight line. "Ma'am," he says, his voice deep and strong, "we got your call." He pauses, letting that sink in. Linda perks up a little, like maybe she's still got a chance. But then Mike keeps going. "But I'm more concerned about you wasting police time over a bubble gun." His words hit like a big splash of cold water. Wasting police time? That's serious. Cops don't like it when people call 911 for silly stuff. It's supposed to be for real emergencies, not toys and bubbles. Linda's face changes fast. First, it's white from the shock of Sarah being a cop. Now, it turns red, redder than a ripe tomato sitting on a kitchen counter. Her mouth opens, then closes, then opens again, like she's a fish gulping for air. I didn't know," she squeaks, her voice high and shaky. She's stammering, tripping over her own words, trying to explain herself. "I thought it was dangerous. I thought, she trails off, her hands flapping at her sides. She's got nothing left to say, and she knows it. That big, bossy smirk she had. It's gone, washed away like a bubble popping in the wind." Mike doesn't budge. His face stays stern, like a teacher who's caught you sneaking candy in class. "A bubble gun," he says again, slow and clear, "is not an emergency." He points at Timmy, who's still playing, oblivious to the grown-up drama. "That's a kid with a toy. You called us out here for that." His voice isn't loud, but it's heavy, like it's pressing down on Linda. She shrinks a little, her shoulders hunching. She's not the queen of the neighborhood anymore. She's just a lady in a pink shirt who made a big mistake. Linda tries to talk again. But I'm the HOA president," she says, her voice wobbly. "I have to keep things safe. I didn't know she was a cop." She's pointing at Sarah now, like it's all Sarah's fault for hiding her secret. But that excuse doesn't work, not with Officer Mike, and not with anybody watching. She called 911 because she wanted to win, wanted to be right, wanted to boss everyone around. And now she's the one in trouble, and there's no way out. Sarah steps forward, cool as can be. Her flip-flops tap the grass, quiet and steady. She's not mad or loud. She doesn't need to be. She's got all the power now, and it shows in how she moves, how she talks. She looks at Linda, her eyes sharp but kind, like a mom who's about to teach you a lesson. "Next time, Linda," she says, her voice smooth and strong, "maybe talk to me before you dial 911. She pauses, letting that sink in, then adds, "I'm always around." It's simple, but it's big. Sarah's saying she's not just a neighbor, she's a cop, watching, protecting, always there. Linda didn't need to call anybody, because Sarah was already on the job. Linda's face gets even redder, if that's possible. She looks like she wants to disappear, like she'd crawl under her perfect white mailbox if she could. I, she mumbles, but there's nothing left to say. It's too late. Her big plan calling the cops to stop Timmy's bubbles has turned into a giant flop. She thought she'd be the hero, but instead, she's the one who looks silly. Officer Mike shakes his head, just a little, like he's disappointed but not surprised. "Let's not do this again," he says, his voice firm. It's a warning, and Linda knows it. The neighbors, who'd been peeking out their windows this whole time, can't hold back anymore. Whispers start buzzing down the street, soft at first, then louder. "She called the cops on Bubbles," one lady says, giggling behind her curtain. "Sarah's a cop?" "No way," says a guy watering his flowers. "That's so cool," shouts a kid on a skateboard, zooming past. The whole neighborhood's talking now, their voices mixing with the chirping birds and popping bubbles. Linda hears it all, and her shoulders slump even more. She's not the boss anymore, she's the story, and not in a good way. Linda takes a step back, her flip-flops dragging slow on the ground. She's defeated, totally out of steam. She turns and starts walking back to her house, her head down, her messy bun bouncing a little. She doesn't look at Sarah or Timmy or Officer Mike. She doesn't look at anybody. She just slinks away, like a dog with its tail between its legs. Her pink shirt's all wrinkled now, and her big HOA sign "Rules keep us safe" looks silly as she passes it. The queen of the HOA has been dethroned, knocked off her throne by a bubble gun and a secret cop. She disappears into her house, the door shutting with a quiet click, and that's it, she's gone. Timmy, meanwhile, is back to his bubbles. He's not worried anymore, not with his mom and Officer Mike around. He waves at Mike, a big, goofy wave with his free hand. "Hi, Officer Mike," he shouts, grinning like Mike's a superhero. "Look at my bubbles." He shoots a big one, and it floats right over to Mike, popping near his boots. Mike chuckles, a deep, rumbly sound, and waves back. "Nice bubbles, kid," he says, his serious face softening just a bit. Timmy beams, happy as can be. To him, this is awesome. His mom's a cop, and the police guy likes his bubbles. What could be better? Sarah watches Linda go, then turns back to her yard. She walks over to the porch, where her lemonade glass is still sitting from before all this started. She picks it up, the ice clinking softly, and takes a sip. The sweet, tangy taste fills her mouth, and she sighs a happy, relaxed sigh. She leans against the porch railing, her apron swaying, and watches Timmy play. Bubbles float everywhere, drifting up high, some landing on the grass, some sailing over the fence. It's peaceful again, like the storms passed and left everything bright and clear. Officer Mike gives Sarah a little nod. "I'll head out," he says, tipping his head toward his car. "You good here?" Sarah nods back, her smile warm. "All good, Mike. Thanks for coming by." Mike turns and walks back to his police car, his boots crunching on the gravel again. The car door creaks open, then shuts with a thump, and he drives off, slow and steady, disappearing down the street. He's gone, but the neighborhood's still buzzing with what just happened. Sarah sips her lemonade again, her eyes on Timmy. He's running in circles now, trying to make a bubble storm. 1, 2, 3, go, he yells, shooting as fast as he can. The bubbles pile up in the air, sparkling and popping, and he laughs so hard he almost falls over. Sarah smiles, a real, big smile that lights up her face. She's not just a mom right now, she's a hero, the quiet lady nobody noticed who turned out to be the real boss all along. Linda thought she could push Sarah around, but Sarah's stronger, smarter, tougher. And now everybody knows it. The neighbors keep talking, their whispers turning into chatter. The fluffy dog lady walks by again, waving at Sarah with a big grin. "You're amazing," she calls, her dog barking like it agrees. A couple of kids on bikes ride up to the fence, staring at Sarah with wide eyes. "Are you really a cop?" one asks, his voice squeaky with excitement. Sarah nods, leaning over the railing. "Yep," she says, winking. "But don't tell the bad guys, okay?" The kids laugh and ride off, shouting, "That's so cool," to each other. Down the street, a man mowing his lawn stops to watch. He's been listening this whole time, and now he's shaking his head, a little smile on his face. "Linda's done for," he mutters, starting his mower again. Another lady, watering her flowers, calls over to Sarah. "Good for you," she says, giving a thumbs up. "She's been bossing us around too long." Sarah waves back, her lemonade glass cool in her hand. The whole neighborhood's on her side now, cheering for the quiet mom who turned out to be a secret cop. Timmy runs up to Sarah, his bubble gun still buzzing. "Mom, can Officer Mike come play sometime?" he asks, his eyes big and hopeful. Sarah laughs, ruffling his messy hair. "Maybe, buddy," she says. "He's pretty busy catching real bad guys, though." Timmy nods, like that makes perfect sense. "You catch bad guys too, right?" he says, grinning. Sarah nods back. "Sometimes," she says. But mostly, I just keep you safe. Timmy hugs her leg, then runs off again, shooting more bubbles into the sky. The yard's full of bubbles now, floating everywhere, catching the sunlight. It's like a little party, happy and free, with Timmy right in the middle. Sarah watches from the porch, her lemonade almost gone. She's calm, steady, like she always is, but now everyone sees her differently. She's not just the lady who lives at 123 Maple Street. She's not just Timmy's mom. She's a cop, a real, undercover cop who's been keeping Sunny Hill safe all this time. Linda's little 911 call didn't stop anything, it just showed everyone who Sarah really is. Let's zoom out for a second. The street's alive now, buzzing with voices and laughter. The oak tree rustles in the breeze, dropping a few leaves onto Sarah's grass. The mailbox stands tall, Jackson written in black letters, proud and strong. Down at Linda's house, the curtains are closed tight, no peeking out today. Her HOA sign looks lonely, like it knows it's lost its power. The neighborhood's changed, just a little, because of this sunny Saturday afternoon. Linda's not the boss anymore, Sarah is, in her quiet, cool way. Sarah finishes her lemonade, the last drop sliding down her throat. She sets the glass on the railing and crosses her arms, looking out at the street. She's not loud or showy, she doesn't need to be. She's proved everything she needed to, just by being herself. Linda's backfired call, her big fuss over bubbles, it all led to this justice served, nice and simple. The queen of the HOA's been knocked down, and Sarah's the one standing tall, sipping lemonade and watching bubbles float away. The day goes on, slow and peaceful. Timmy keeps playing, his giggles filling the air. The neighbors go back to their yards, their houses, their lives, but they're still talking about Sarah. She's a cop, they whisper. Who knew, they laugh. Linda's in for it now, they say. And Sarah? She just stays on her porch, quiet and strong, the real boss of Sunny Hills. Linda messed with the wrong mom, and now everyone knows it. What a way to end a bubble-filled day. And there you have it, folks. What a wild ride, right? We started with a bubble gun, a nosy Karen named Linda, and a mom named Sarah who flipped everything upside down in the best way ever. It's a story full of surprises, bubbles floating high, a secret coming out, and a big lesson for everyone watching. Sometimes, the people you think you can push around turn out to be the ones holding all the power. Isn't that cool? So next time you see someone quiet, don't judge them too fast, you never know who they really are. Let's talk about it all, step by step, and see what we can learn from this sunny day in Sunny Hills. First, let's think about how this whole thing started. It was just a regular Saturday, bright sun, blue sky, and Timmy playing with his orange bubble gun. He was running around, giggling, making bubbles pop everywhere. It was simple, happy, the kind of day every kid loves. Nobody thought it'd turn into a big deal, right? But then Linda HOA Karen came stomping out, mad as can be. She saw those bubbles and decided they were trouble. She yelled, pointed, and called 911, thinking she'd be the big boss. She thought she could tell everyone what to do, like she always did. But boy, was she wrong. Sarah, Timmy's mom, stayed cool the whole time. She didn't yell back or get scared. She just watched, calm and steady, like a superhero who knows they've got a secret weapon. And what a secret it was. When Officer Mike stepped out of that police car and Sarah said, "I'm an undercover cop," it was like a giant bubble popping boom. Linda's jaw dropped, the neighbors gasped, and everything changed. Sarah wasn't just a mom making lemonade, she was a hero, keeping the neighborhood safe all along. Linda thought she'd win, but Sarah turned the tables, showing everyone who's really strong. Now, let's zoom out a bit. This story's not just about bubbles or Linda being silly. It's about something bigger, something you can carry with you every day. Think about the people around you. Maybe there's a kid at school who's quiet, who doesn't talk much or show off. Or maybe there's a grown-up like a teacher or a neighbor who seems plain and boring. You might think they're not important, right? But what if they're like Sarah? What if they've got something amazing hiding inside, waiting for the right moment to shine? That's what this story's telling us. Don't judge people too fast, because you never know who they really are. Linda judged Sarah big time. She saw a mom in an apron, someone quiet who didn't fight back, and thought, "Oh, I can boss her around." She didn't stop to think maybe Sarah was more than that. She didn't ask questions or try to talk things out. Nope, she just grabbed her phone and called 911, sure she'd come out on top. But Sarah didn't need to yell or make a fuss. She had power, real power, because she's smart, strong, and good at what she does. When she told Linda, "I'm a cop," it wasn't just words. It was proof that quiet people can be the toughest ones around. Let's imagine you're walking through your own neighborhood. Maybe you see someone like Linda, someone loud, always telling people what to do. And then you see someone like Sarah, quiet, minding their own business, not making waves. Who do you think's stronger? Before this story, you might have picked Linda, right? She's loud, she's bossy, she acts like she's in charge. But now you know it's not about noise. It's about what's inside. Sarah's the real hero here, not because she shouted, but because she stayed calm and showed the truth when it mattered most. This makes me think about Timmy too. He's just a kid, playing with his bubble gun, not hurting anybody. Linda tried to ruin his fun, but Sarah made sure he could keep going. That's what heroes do, they protect the little things, the happy moments, the stuff that makes life good. Timmy didn't know his mom was a cop until that big reveal, but he trusted her anyway. He waved at Officer Mike, laughed, and kept shooting bubbles, because he knew his mom had his back. Isn't that awesome? It's like a reminder that even when things get crazy, the people who love you will stand up for you no matter what. So, what's the big lesson here? It's simple, but it's huge. Don't judge people by how they look or act on the outside. Linda thought Sarah was weak because she was quiet. She thought Timmy was trouble because he had a bubble gun. She was wrong about both of them, and it cost her big time. She lost her power, her smirk, her whole HOA queen thing, all because she didn't see the real Sarah. Next time you meet someone, think about that. Maybe they're quiet because they're strong. Maybe they're not showing off because they don't need to. You never know who's got a secret like Sarah's, waiting to surprise you. Let's picture Linda for a second. She's back in her house now, probably hiding behind her curtains. Her pink shirt's wrinkled, her bun's a mess, and her HOA sign looks silly outside. She wanted to be the big boss, but she ended up looking foolish. Why? Because she didn't think things through. She didn't talk to Sarah or ask what was going on. She just jumped to being mad and calling the cops. That's a lesson too. If you're too quick to judge, you might miss the truth. Linda could have been friends with Sarah, maybe even learned something cool from her. Instead, she made a big mistake and lost her crown. Now picture Sarah, standing on her porch with her lemonade. She's calm, smiling, watching Timmy play. She didn't need to shout or fight to win, she just let the truth come out. That's real strength, right there. She's not loud or pushy, but she's the one everyone's talking about now. The neighbors are waving, the kids are amazed, and even the fluffy dog lady's impressed. Sarah's the quiet mom nobody noticed, but she proved she's the real boss. It's like she's saying, you don't have to be loud to be powerful. You just have to be you. What about you? Have you ever met someone like Linda, someone who acts big and bossy but doesn't really get it? Or someone like Sarah, quiet but super strong? Maybe you've got your own story where things weren't what they seemed. That's what makes life fun, right? You never know what's hiding behind a smile or a frown. Maybe your teacher's secretly a ninja, or your best friend's got a talent nobody's seen yet. This story's a little push to keep your eyes open, to stay curious, to wonder who people really are. Let's think about power for a minute. Linda thought power was about rules and yelling and being in charge. She wanted everyone to follow her HOA stuff, to listen when she said, "No bubbles." But Sarah's power was different. It was quiet, steady, real. She didn't need a sign or a phone call to prove it, she just lived it. She kept the neighborhood safe as a cop, watched over Timmy as a mom, and stayed cool when Linda got crazy. That's the kind of power that lasts, the kind that doesn't need a big show. It's like a bubble floating high, simple, pretty, but stronger than you think. So, what can we take from this? Be like Sarah, not Linda. Don't judge people too fast. Don't think you know everything about someone just because they're quiet or loud. Look closer, ask questions, give them a chance to show who they are. You might be surprised, like, jaw-dropping surprised at what you find. And if you're the quiet one? Don't be afraid to shine when it's time. You've got power too, even if nobody sees it yet. Just wait for your moment, like Sarah did, and let it pop out when it's ready. What did you think of this one? I bet you loved the part where Sarah said, "I'm a cop," and Linda's face went all funny, right? Or maybe it was Timmy waving at Officer Mike, like he's a superhero. Drop your favorite part in the comments, I want to hear it. And tell me if you've got your own HOA horror story. Did a nosy neighbor ever try to ruin your fun? Did someone surprise you with a secret like Sarah's? Share it with me, I'm all ears. This story's about bubbles and cops, but it's also about you, your surprises, your heroes, your little wins. Let's wrap it up with one last thought. Life's full of people like Sarah and Linda. Some are loud and pushy, some are quiet and strong. You get to choose who you want to be. You can be the one who judges fast and misses the truth, or the one who stays cool and shows up big when it counts. Me. I'd pick Sarah every time. She's proof that the quietest person in the room might just be the toughest, the smartest, the best. So stay curious, keep watching, and don't be afraid to let your own bubbles float high. You never know who's watching, waiting to cheer you on. See you in the next story, friends. Keep your eyes open, your heart big, and your bubble guns ready. There's more fun coming your way. Stay awesome, and I'll catch you soon.